Good evening, everybody. The Field of 68 Selection Sunday Marathon rolls on. Folks, the bracket is out. It's like a holiday. I'm John Fanta. We've got the coaching perspective from Matt McCall. We've got the players' perspective from John Henson. Fellas, we've got an hour. So let's jump right in. Coach McCall, you saw this bracket this evening, and your first takeaway was?
Florida Atlantic is a 9 seed? A 9? They won 31 games. They had some adversity in the tournament. They came through and they won their conference tournament game by 20. They're a 9 seed. I'm telling you right now. And I've advocated for Penny Hardaway. I've advocated for Memphis. I know how good they are. But man, FAU at a 9 seed. Can you imagine seeing them in the second weekend? Elijah Martin is playing his best basketball. He started playing his best basketball in the tournament. That's my first reaction. I'm not just saying it because I'm 45 minutes away from FAU's campus, but that 9 seed for FAU, teams do not want to see them in that bracket. I can trust me on that. That's my first reaction. I have a bunch of other reactions, but that's my first one. I'm going right there.
My first reaction is these lower seeded teams. This second weekend is going to be, for lack of better words, nuts. From the FAU, you got Texas A&M second in the SEC, a 7 seed.
How about that? Yes,
yeah,
that
like
one too. Come on.
Like I think, Fan, I told you this when I was on the show before. The second weekend as a top seed was always my hardest team. And now you got, you're going to have to see, Iowa, Auburn. Houston's going to have to see Iowa, Auburn. Alabama's probably going to have to see Maryland or West Virginia. I mean, this is going to get tricky. And so I'm excited, man. It's a lot of parity. I'm excited.
You're saying second round.
Second round. The second week, the second game, that Saturday, Sunday game, are going to be knockout, drag out fun, because it's these 8 or 9 seeds of kind of these underachieving teams that have the talent to really go far. So it's going to be fun.
I want to get to each region, but you just brought up a really interesting point, and I'm going to tee you up on both these here. Henson, why did you just tell us that the second round game is actually the hardest game? Why is that?
Because, being a number 1 seed specifically, we were a number 1 seed. The 2 times I made the tournament, we were number 1s. And that second game, first of all, you just played the 16 seed. So I wouldn't say you're primed, right? You played a team that you're supposed to beat by 20. And the pressure's all on you. It's all on you. There's no pressure on West Virginia or, we'll stay with the South Region first or Maryland. They're playing the number 1 seeded team in the entire tournament. So you get a loose, nothing to lose, very good team that may be underachieved. And those are all the 8-9 games. I mean, those are underachieving teams. Arkansas is healthy. It was a tough game. You had probably the most talented team you're going to play until you get to that next weekend, probably, Elite 8, Sweet 16 type thing.
Coach McCall, any opinion on that? Like of first game, second game, the roles that this takes on, or is the coaching perspective of I got to beat the hell out of this team Thursday or Friday?
I think it's where you enter the tournament at. As even John knows, being the number 1 seed, and in 2014 we're the number 1 overall seed at Florida. Mm-hmm. That first round game versus Albany was close. It was close, and it wasn't supposed to be close. And they had played in the first 4-in game versus Mount St. Mary's. Jamion Christensen was at Mount St. Mary's, and those guys shot like 1,000,000 threes. And I'll never forget, we were watching the game on the bus driving to Orlando, and I'm like, man, this Mount St. Mary's team is dangerous. And then all of a sudden, Albany wins the game, and next thing you know, you're in a dogfight in the first round with Albany. And I know 16 seeds outside of one time in the history of the tournament don't beat number 1 seeds, but it was still a close game. And it's almost like, okay, once you get past that, all right, let's settle in. We're the best team. Here we go. So but the 8-9 games in this tournament, my goodness. Yeah. I mean, I picked Arkansas to win the SEC tournament.
Right.
West Virginia, they've had an unbelievable year. They have tremendous talent. They have a Hall of Famer as their head coach. I mean, it's like you look at these matchups, and I know we're going to dive in, but it's nuts. It's nuts.
Let's dive right in.
It is nuts. It's nuts.
let's dive right in. Hey, we want to remind you, we've got our pool. You could beat Coach McCall. You could beat John Henson. You could beat Jack Goodman. You could beat Randolph Childress. Who wouldn't want to beat Rob Doster? I can't wait to beat him. Run your pool. Check out our pool. It's on Run Your Pool. Field of 68's got it. It's our competition. It's at Run Your Pool. And we want to shout out the Vaulted app, which is awesome. If you have not heard about it yet, folks, is really cool. And check out the Vaulted app. I want to shout out them here. Let's get right to it, folks. Just knocked out the reads and the plugs because we want to talk hoops now with you for the next 50 or so minutes before we hand the torch off